Hey guys, in this session, we will look into some basic questions on threat hunting. My name is Anand Guru, and I'm here to help you clear your next SOC analyst interview. So let's start. What is threat hunting? Threat hunting is a human driven, proactive, and iterative approach which involves searching through networks and endpoints to detect malicious activities that have evaded detection by existing automated tools. It is an offense based approach that applies adversaries' tactics and techniques and adopts their mindset when investigating signs of compromise within an organization. Explain the threat hunting process. The threat hunting process involves five stages. The stage one is hypothesis generation. The aim of these hypotheses is to find evidence of threats before they are exploited. Stage 2 includes validation of the hypothesis. Once a hypothesis has been defined, its validity needs to be verified. We then need to look for the existence of threats that fits this hypothesis. In this stage, it is usual for some hypotheses to be discarded while research into others is prioritized due to their likelihood or criticality. Stage 3 is finding evidence. From the results obtained in the previous search, we need to verify if a threat really exists. False positives and mistakes in configurations are set aside, and efforts are focused on the validated hypothesis. Stage 4 is discovery of new patterns. The attack is reconstructed to find any new patterns and tactics used to carry it out. Finally, it's stage 5 notification and enrichment. Using the knowledge generated during the threat hunting process, the automatic detection systems are enriched and improved. This way, the organization global security is improved. Why should we do threat hunting? Advantages of threat hunting includes proactively uncover security incidents, detect the undetected, improve the speed of threat response, reduce false positives and improve SOC efficiency, reduce dwell time, evict adversaries with minimal business disruption. What is difference between threat hunting and threat detection? Threat detection is a reactive approach and uses traditional preventive technologies and monitoring tools to detect a malicious activity. Threat detection leads to incident mitigation. Threat hunting is a proactive approach. It can detect slow and stealth attacks that would otherwise go unnoticed by preventive technologies. Threat hunting leads to threat detection and finally leads to incident response. What tools do you use for threat hunting? Few of the threat hunting tools available in the market are Squirrel, Vectra Cognito, Exabeam Threat Hunter, Endgame, and NIF. Few of the other tools that are helpful during threat hunting includes EDR, Threat Intelligence, and ELK for analytics. Explain the different threat hunting techniques. Different threat hunting techniques are as follows. Searching. This is the most basic form of threat hunting. With this technique, you are trying to support your formulated hypothesis with information and data from a very specific set of search criteria. Clustering. This is more of a quantitative, statistically based approach to threat hunting. With this technique, the threat hunter is attempting to cluster similar datasets from a larger pool of data to find the hidden or unseen trends in these datasets. Grouping. In this scenario, the threat hunter is looking at different artifacts that have been discovered and identifying them based on the same set of criteria that was used to formulate the original hypothesis. The final technique includes stack counting. This is another type of statistical technique. In this case, the threat hunter ascertains the total number of occurrences of a certain data sets by closely examining any sort of outliers that may exist. Explain the OODA strategy. OODA is an abbreviation for Observe, Orient, Decide and Act. Military personnel apply OODA when they carry out combat operations. Likewise, threat hunters use OODA during cyber warfare. In the context of threat hunting, OODA works as follows. Observe a first phase that involves routine data collection from endpoints. Orient, understanding the collected data thoroughly and combining this information with other collected information to help understand its meaning. Decide, once you have analyzed the information, then you need to identify the course of action. If the incident occurs, threat hunters will execute the incident response strategy. Act. The last phase involves the execution of the plan to put an end to the intrusion and enhance the company's security posture. What is diamond model? The diamond model emphasizes the relationship between basic elements of any malicious activity. The elements include adversary, the victim, the infrastructure, and the capability. All malicious activities contains these elements. What is MITRE attack? How is it used in threat hunting? Attack stands for adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge. It is a knowledge base of attacks, the tactics, and the techniques used by associated APT groups. It helps in mapping out an attack in various stages called tactics and methods or tools used at various stages. MITRE attack framework is used by threat hunters to map various attack vectors, identify the ones that our organization is susceptible to, build hypotheses around the prioritized techniques, hunt for the adversaries. Give some examples of threat hunting hypothesis. Example 1, recognizing suspicious software. This is useful in detecting malwares. Typically, we look for event ID 4688. Also, you can install sysmon and enabling logging of process started and process terminated events. Make a list of all the standard processes that run in the network and whitelist them. Use process hashes. Some malwares can run with legitimate process names like notepad.exe. Second example include detecting command and control communication. Malware communication back to CNC servers for data exfiltration and to get further instructions for the attack. They typically use common port number to avoid detection, but we can check for various combination of communication channels like common port and common protocol, common port and uncommon protocol, uncommon port and common protocol, and finally uncommon port and uncommon protocol. Hypothesis being made here is attackers may be operating on a CNC command and control channel that uses a common protocol and common network port. Looking for unique artifacts pertinent to this protocol. For example, in this case we are assuming HTTP, then we need to be considering looking at anomalous domain names, URLs, and user agent strings. The data sets that are useful in terms of detecting or doing this threat hunting includes HIPS logs, firewall logs, proxy logs, and DNS logs. Third example include hunting for internal reconnaissance. Hypotheses being made are an attacker conducting internal reconnaissance would attempt to carry out host enumeration and automate these commands with a script. Look for these commands to be spawned by a script like who am I, net user, user account, get net IP configuration, host name, IP config, NIC config. Datasets used to perform this hypothesis include process name and process hashes, especially PowerShell and cmd.exe. What makes a person good at threat hunting? Good understanding of various attack vectors, hypothetical thinking, good knowledge of organizational infrastructure, good at pattern recognition, being aware of latest attack techniques, data analytics, and basic scripting knowledge for automation. How do you measure the effectiveness of threat hunting? Few of the key metrics in measuring effectiveness threat hunting include number of incidents by severity, false positive rates of transitioned hunts, dwell time of any incidents discovered, number of detection gaps identified and fixed, logging gaps identified and corrected, insecure practices identified and corrected, number of hunts transitioned to new analytics, and any new visibility gained during threat hunting. Thank you for joining me in this session. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you.